What's one thing that all actors have in common?
Rejection.
So today, while sharing a personal story about my own personal rejection, we are going to share some tips and some tricks on how to deal with that, how to move forward, and how to keep conquering those auditions. I'm Adrienne Walker.
I'm Austin Cook.
And welcome back to 32 Bar Cut. Today we are talking about rejection. So I am going to share a little story about rejection. I got a major motion film audition for a musical audition. And let's be honest, when it came through my email, I was like, okay, long shot, not booking this, but I would love the opportunity to audition. So I made the tape. It was 3 scenes and a song, sent it in, didn't think anything of it. My agent actually loved the tape, so that felt really good, but I didn't think anything of it. About a month later, I got a callback, a Zoom callback with the director. So now I'm kind of freaking out because I'm like, oh my God, they're taking me seriously. Yeah. So I go into this Zoom callback, and I don't know if you've ever been in a room where you can just feel like they're not vibing with you, you're not vibing with them. That's kind of the vibe I got at this Zoom callback. So I was like, I don't think it went well. I don't think he was feeling me. I don't think he thinks I'm right for this part. And lo and behold, when I checked in with my agent a couple weeks later, they said they've let you go. This was like in May. So I dropped it. I let it go. I moved on. I'm doing other things. I'm thriving, working, whatever. And then months later, maybe September, I think it was, I got another call from my agent saying, Adrienne, they want to see you one more time. And I'm like, really? Like, okay, let's do this. So I sent in another tape. I did the same scenes and I sang, and I got instead of a Zoom callback that time, I got the first thing that has ever happened to me in my life. I got flown out first class to the city they were having the in-person screen test callback for, and it got put up in the 4 Seasons. So I was feeling really good about myself. I was like, oh my God, this is really happening. This could happen. This could happen. So in my preparation for that, I reread the source material. I did a deep dive in my journal, trying to just picture who this person is, who this woman is, what her life would look like, and how she would approach this in a real, honest, and true way. Because, you know, film does not lie. Film does not lie. You need real truth telling when you are on film.
Yeah, it's very different from theater.
It is very different from theater. You still want truth in both mediums, but the nuance of it is just subtle. Yeah. So anyway, I'm doing all the research. I'm sitting in my first class seat. I'm ready to go. I'm thrilled. So I get to the audition, and I've never done a screen test before, so I didn't really know what to encounter. But I get to the audition, and we just start with the singing. So I sang, and I sang, and I sang, and I was starting to feel like everything was against me because the accompanist was like, he was playing one tempo, I was feeling another one, and we weren't really vibing, and the director could feel this, but the director worked with the accompanist, got him for us to be on the same page, and we kept going. And I was really feeling very confident. And I felt like I was really knocking it out the park. Like I felt like I was giving him everything he wanted, because the feedback I was getting from the director was, yes, that's awesome, that's great. And while I'm singing, there's a cameraman going through all the angles, picking up all these moments, and they're going to send that in to the producers. Like they are really legitimately making a screen test.
Pause.
Yeah.
If you've never been in a film audition for a musical, it's a little bit different than just your theater musical where they're not just in obviously a film, there's cameras.
Yes.
So what you got to experience that I think most people have not experienced before is an actual screen test where there's like actual cameramen doing movement while you're like talking. They're like experimenting with how you move, how you interact with the director, how you take notes on screen. So it's a little bit different than your final callback for a musical on stage.
Absolutely. There was not a panel of people in front of me. It was just the cameraman, the accompanist, the casting director, and the director. It was just us in a tiny little room figuring this out. So then after I sang, then the choreographer comes in. I did not know there was a dance call. The choreographer comes in, and the choreographer gives me some choreography to do, and we work on it, and then they film that. My strength is not in dancing, but I did give it a good, strong try.
Yeah. But the role you were auditioning for was not a dance role.
It was not a dance role. Not a dance role. Life-changing role, not a dance role. So then the final portion of my audition were the 3 scenes that I worked on. And this is another moment where I felt like everything was against me because my reader, God bless her, did not do the job that I needed her to do. I'll just put it like that. Yeah. And so that was a bit of a struggle, but I still felt very confident in my work. And I'd say that to say that you might have an accompanist that's doing something you're not prepared for. You might have a reader that is doing things that are surprising to you or maybe reading wrong words, and you still just have to rock with it because the director is watching how you can experience these things with kindness and light and be a professional in a situation that maybe is not ideal for you.
Yeah.
So that process took about 2.5 hours. We ran over. It took a little longer than what they had planned on. So they rushed me out because there was another person coming in to audition, unbeknownst to me, right? So they're trying to get me out of there because they don't want this person to see me. But I hear the person's voice, and their voice is very recognizable to me. And I asked the casting director, is that such and such? And the casting director said, yes, it is. And I thought, okay, let me get out of here. And before I left, this is the part that really stayed with me. Before I left, the director said, we'll talk. And I just thought, I got it. Yeah. I don't know how, but I got it. It's mine. It's happening. I can't believe this. And I was so tight-lipped about the whole thing that I didn't even tell my family that I was in town. I didn't tell them that I was even going to this audition. And so I left. I went home to see my family because I was close by based on where they flew me for the audition, and celebrated my sister having a new baby girl. And I left it at that. I felt good. I felt confident. Yeah. And the casting director said she was going to let me know either way.
Yep. But the thing is, too, that you kind of buried a little bit was that the person that you heard is a celebrity. So yes. That's a big part of the story is that yes. It's not just someone you knew because you knew them. It was someone you knew because of celebrity.
Yeah, it was
a distinct celebrity voice.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was the part that was like, oh, no, I'm up against a celebrity.
I even had this like wild thought that maybe that celebrity was there for another role. Yeah. That wasn't true. It was actually between me and her, and she did, of course, book the role. But that's the reality of this business is that you can be in a position to have a life-changing moment and it's still not go your way. Everything looks like it's going your way. The director is saying all the things you need them to say. It feels right. You feel like you're standing down and, you're grounded in it, and it's just not for you. So for me personally, I faced a lot of rejection. I get more no's than yeses. I'm pretty sure most actors feel that way. It's a very common thing. But for me, that was the rejection that hit the hardest, that took me the longest to recover from. And I'm not saying that I'm like sitting in a corner crying and weeping, but it just kind of shook me and it rocked my confidence and my intuition a little bit to where I wasn't quite sure what to believe when you're met with an opportunity. When it feels right, that doesn't always mean that it's right for you. And yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. When every actor deals with rejection, we're very good at dealing with the rejection of the initial rejection, which is just all the auditions. We go in with auditions. We're good at not getting too invested in the early stages.
Yeah.
But then we get the next callback, and then you might get another callback or even a final callback. And now you've kind of, and I know you do this,
I start visualizing.
You visualize what the future is like and what it'll look like. You can see yourself on stage. You can see opening night. You can see the dressing room. You can see the paycheck. You can see and you start planning your life.
I'm seeing the Academy Awards. Exactly. I'm wearing a gown. I got my speech prepared. Like I take it all the way there. And I think there is something good about being able to have that sort of visualization, because every now and then it does happen.
Yes.
And you are paving the way mentally, and you're saying to the universe what you want and how you see your life and what you want for your life and your career.
Yeah.
Austin is from the school of not doing that just in case.
Yeah, I'm the opposite of that, but both are so valid. I don't like to get too invested.
Yeah.
Because if I let myself, again, it's just what we do to protect ourselves from disappointment, right?
Yeah.
We try not to get too invested in something so that we aren't disappointed when it doesn't happen. So I try not to, I'm kind of a pessimist when it comes to auditions and things. Plus, I'm in the room. We talk about it all the time. We talk about it on this channel, where I'm in the room on the other side of the desk as a music director, a supervisor. So I see auditions all the time. And I kind of know more that just how fickle it is to land a job as an actor, because it's not how hard you work, or it's not just your talent, or what. It's a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
It's mostly your type. It's mostly, like are you right for that particular role? Not what you think you're right for the role. Are these people behind the desk, their vision for the show, are you right for what they're envisioning?
And it's not just the creative team that has a say. The producers have a say.
Yes.
They get to they have the money, so they're making the decisions as well. And if they're like, yeah, this girl is great, but we need someone with celebrity power to really push this film, then that's who they're going to go with. And I feel like in my position, that is what happened. Yes. I think that maybe there was a vision and I did not check all of the marks. And that is okay. Ultimately, a few months after that, I booked Power Book 4 Force, and I felt pretty good about that. Yeah. So I, moved on from it. And that's the thing, is that you're going to face moments similar to mine where you've gotten your hopes up and you are ready to soar. You were just waiting for that yes. You are waiting for that phone call. You're waiting for that email that's going to change your life. And it doesn't come. But that doesn't mean that you did poorly, that you're never going to book anything, that you aren't worthy of this career, that you're not worthy of the job. There's just too many factors that you cannot control that will take you out of it, take you out of the running. I've seen it happen many, many times. I think on another video we did, I was reading for a play and a woman came in and she was perfect. Her acting, stellar. Everything she did, she was right on the money. And she walked out the room and the director turns to the casting director and says, she is too stunning. She's too stunning for this part.
Yeah.
She cannot play this part because we need our lead to be the most beautiful woman in the room, not the supporting. And so that woman will leave and never know that she did not book that role because she was too pretty. Can you imagine?
Yeah, it happens all the time, though. Type is just it's such a fickle thing, these jobs. But dealing with rejection is difficult.
Yeah.
And, I think the ways that we deal with that rejection everybody has different ways of dealing with it. But it's important to acknowledge it, your feelings, and not just kind of suppress your feelings.
Yeah.
You have to acknowledge it. Have a good friends, your family, you have a good support group around you.
I like to talk about it. I do. I like to talk about it with people that I trust, and people that I know will lift me up and not make me feel crazy for bringing it up again. I like to talk to Austin about my rejection. I like to talk to my mom. I like to talk to my sister, maybe a close friend that's also in the business that understands it as well. But it's good to surround yourself with people who are on a similar path as you and are just as ambitious as you and want to see you thrive. Because being around people who are ambitious can also be competitive and not, it can be a negative thing too, but you want to be around people who have drive that can push and drive you as well. And so when you face rejection, they're ready to help pick you up and carry you along so you can move on to the next audition. And I still get very excited about auditions. Nothing makes me feel better about rejection than another audition. Nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something else out there. You just have to keep trying. It's a numbers game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The more auditions you can go on, the more chance you have that you will align with the vision of that particular director, casting director, or producer. You just have to keep that inner flame lit. and just keep putting yourself out there and keep trying.
It's good to keep a tally of your achievements. I like to have a running notebook of what I have achieved and what I plan to achieve. And I like to check it every 5 years. I don't do it often. It's not something that I obsess over, but every 5 years I do a check-in on what I've achieved and what I plan to achieve. And I check it off the list, what I've done. And then the best part about that practice is that you get to write down things that weren't even on your list that you did achieve, things that surprised you, that shocked you, that you can be proud of. And when you go and you look at this list, it gives you something to anchor you to yourself so that you don't feel untethered in these moments of rejection. And I use the word rejection because it's the simplest way to describe this, but it really is just a weeding out process that casting has, or that the director has, or the producers have, so that they get their dream cast. And that's their vision. It's maybe not necessarily what you would want for the show or the movie or the film, but that's their vision, and you're not in their head. You have no idea what that is. All that you can do is do your best, do the work, do the research, do the preparation, be kind in the room, be open to things going awry, and just do your absolute best. And speaking of auditions, Austin has a course for auditions if you're interested in learning how to make your auditions better.
The complete guide to the musical theater audition is available at courses.32barcut.com, and it really is thorough. This is the best thing you can do if you want to know what Broadway, music directors, casting directors are looking for in a professional musical theater audition. It's 18 hours. It's 18 plus hours. It's 16 modules that I go through everything. I go through how to make the audition book, how to make your cuts, what we're looking for, how to act a song, how to find auditions, how to find your sheet music. I mean, there's no stone unturned. It's a really great course.
Yep.
We're really proud of it. So go check it out. And also we have our new line of merch. Yay! Right below this video. So that's exciting. And reach out, like this video, hit the thumbs up, and definitely comment in the comment section.
Speaking of comments, I really want to hear about, if you're willing to share, because it is a public medium, public forum, but if you're willing to share your stories of rejection and how you overcame it, I think it would really help our community to know that they're not alone, and that there are other people like me, like you, who have undergone a moment of hope and then despair, and how you dealt with it and how you moved on.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know your stories. And until next time, break a leg.
Bye.